Jets and the Bills. The Bills are now anywhere from 15.5 to 16.5 point home favorites in this one. 40.5. Well, actually, you can find a 40. There's 40 all the way to 41.5 out there on the total. So depending on where you want to play, be sure and shop around. Brad, if we look at this, we know what's going on. The Bills got to win to go ahead and take the AFC East. They're probably very highly likely to win this game. But again, winning and covering are two completely different things. And 16 points is a really, really big number.
Yes. Again, it's one that's probably a point or two inflated, just because the Bills have to win. But again, you've got to be a brave person to step in there and back the Jets. I mean, we saw the Bills last season against the Dolphins. The Bills didn't need to win. They didn't need to blow them out on this. I think they scored 50 or whatever. So maybe the Bills don't need margin. Maybe they score 50 anyway. Or I don't know. I don't know what to do with this one.
Yeah, it's Steven, if you look at this, it's like, okay, 16 points. Now, could they do that without even trying to run up? Like, could they moonwalk to a 16 point win because, hey, they just score, on 60% of their possessions and the Jets just can't really move the ball that much and whatever. I mean, that is certainly an option here. And I guess I'm not incredibly worried about any sort of backdoor type stuff with the Jets, because again, that offense is not explosive by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't know why, but the 16 just feels like too much to me.
I feel you. It's going to be fairly windy in Buffalo. It looks like as well on Sunday. I'm looking at, this is a 4:00 kickoff, I believe. And we're looking at sustained winds around 18 to 20. So not crippling like the game we saw a couple weeks ago, but at least somewhat of a factor. So is Zach Wilson going to throw it effectively? But the angle I like here is one our senior writer Mo Nawara pointed out on the site this week. The team total for the Jets here is like crazy low. I mean, 13s are out there. You can find a couple 12.5s even. And this is a team that almost upset the Bucs last week. I know Buffalo's defense is a different animal, but Zach Wilson has at least looked a hell of a lot more functional than he did the first half in the middle of this year. He's had 7+ yards per attempt against Tampa Bay and Miami. And in between that, did beat Jacksonville for what that's worth. So just an incredibly low number that the Jets have reached in all but one of their past 10 games. And you're talking about a team that is number 2 in the NFL in pass play percentage, which I love when I'm trying to chase a team over. So with a 16-point spread, there's always the chance of garbage time, I assume, in a game like this. So I think it's a fairly low bar to clear here for this offense to try and get to 13 points, 14 points.
Hey, I'll take any angle that we can possibly get, right now in these games. I mean, listen, I think the only other one would be is if you do think that this Jets team is going to get boat raced, right? Zach Wilson's passing prop is 187 yards. So, I mean, again, in a YOLO situation, and if he's got to throw 50 times in this game or 50 plus times in this game, like, it might be empty yards and it might be empty stats and it might be when they're already down by 27, but I think he throws for over 187.5 yards.
Yeah. I'm looking at, I used to work for 4for4 and John Paulson's one of the most respected guys I go to when it comes to fantasy football projections. And he's got him at 215 yards this week. So
yeah. So just something to think about there. Yeah, I think 187 is low there on Zach Wilson from a passing standpoint. I think I would play the over on that because again, so I think there's two ways, right? Because if they have success, it's likely because he's having success throwing the ball, and if they get behind a ton, then they have to abandon the run altogether, and then they're just hucking it, every single time. So if you get 50 attempts, you're likely to get to over 187 yards.